Today I want to address a topic that I see happening a lot out in the business world, and that are business owners who refuse to look at their financials. Now there's three primary reasons a business owner will not look at their financials. Number one is, I've heard this before, Kevin, I just don't have time to look at my financials. Well, frankly, that's kind of like the adult version of the dog ate my homework. Come on, really? You just haven't prioritized it in your calendar. Number two reason is, Kevin, I don't know how to read my own financial numbers. Now, it's not a lot of fun to learn how to read your financials, but there's a lot of information today that will help you do that. But the third and probably the most insidious one is the fear factor. Either business owners are afraid to take a look at their numbers on account of what's actually going to be in those numbers, or number two, they're just afraid, period. They don't know why the fear is there. You see, when you refuse to look at financials, you have no idea how much money you're making, or frankly, how much money you're losing, because you may just be taking credit card debt on and just keeping going and not realizing how much money you're losing. Number two, you'll start spending money without any context. You'll just buy things that don't make any sense. And number three, you open yourself up for embezzlement. Now, once you start getting in the habit of taking a look at your numbers on a consistent basis, you'll basically start finding out what truly does make you money. Number two, you'll basically make good spending decisions and investment decisions in your business. And number three, it closes the door on theft, either internal with your employees or external from your customers or other sources. Now, I actually have a real life example here. I actually had a client one time who was so scared of looking at her own numbers that when I put on a 2-day business boot camp and we got to the section of reading our own numbers, she started actually physically shaking. And I had to get her through that, but she was able to do it and started learning how to do her own numbers. So it doesn't really matter where you are at. You can overcome any issue with being able to look at your financials. So how do we go about overcoming this issue of not wanting to look at your financials? Well, the first is to establish why you're avoiding looking at your financials. And here's the key. You have to be honest with yourself. If you lie to yourself, it isn't going to do any good. So the first one is it time? I just don't have time to look at my financials. The easiest way is to take a look at what your activities are, figure out where you can block off time, create a distraction-free environment, and actually do it. So take a look at whatever calendar you're using. If you're not using the default calendar, you need to start putting that in place. In any case, find a block of time when you are going to completely separate yourself from any activities other than looking at your financials. If you need to have somebody hold you accountable to do it, then do it. But it needs to get done. Number two is if you have a lack of knowledge in how to read the financials, there's a lot of education out there. First starting point is YouTube. Type in how to read business financial statements, and there's just a plethora of videos that you can watch. Now, if that doesn't work for you, go out there and find some courses that will help you learn how to read financials. Or three, find a business coach who can help you on a one-on-one basis to dive deeper into your financials so that you know what you're doing. The second thing you need to do is you need to work at becoming educated in a far more refined fashion. You need to take a look at what are the three financial statements, what are their purposes, and then what are each one of their functions. So the deeper you understand that, the more confident you're going to be in understanding how one integrates with the other. As I said, take some classes if you need to, but now is the time to do that deep dive into having a much better understanding of your financials. And then finally, go ahead and just start creating blocks of time and when you can do it. You don't want to get too easy not to do it. You're going to find excuses out there. If you're afraid, you're going to find excuses. If you have no time, you're going to find excuses. If you have no knowledge, you'll find excuses. You need to create an interruption-free environment so that you can either overcome your fears, take time to look at it, or educate yourself. You see, when you get into the habit of going over your financial numbers, you gain a whole new confidence in what your numbers are telling you. And this is going to help you make important decisions. You see, the fundamental thing is I could sit here today and break down financial statements and go over ratios. But here's the thing. If something is stopping you, no level of education is going to help you get to that next level. So what are those three areas? Is it time? You're not making enough time to do that. Is it knowledge? You need to start getting additional knowledge. Or is it three? Is an honest fear that you need to overcome? Now here's the deal. If you are struggling to do a deep dive into your financials, I want you to set up a free 30-minute troubleshooting session where I will work with you on overcoming one of those three areas. If it's time, we'll help you block time and create that in your calendar. If it's a knowledge base, then we'll do a quick overview on what your numbers are telling you. Or number three, if it is a fear, we'll talk that through. We'll create some level of accountability so you can overcome that. Go ahead and do that today and look forward to talking with you about your financials.